That jumper you almost bought at Zara last week. The one that was nearly sold out. Last one on the rack. Wrong size, even. Too big or too small. But you stood there and told yourself it would be fine. A bit loose is better anyway. It'll shrink. You'll lose a bit of weight by next month, whatever it took. Ask yourself honestly, did you want that jumper because it was actually good? Or did you want it because everyone else seemed to want it too? And the rack being almost empty was proof of that, and some part of you did not want to be the one person who missed out. Here's the uncomfortable part. Zara already knows which feeling moves you faster, and it had almost nothing to do with how well that jumper was made. That moment at the rack wasn't an accident, and it wasn't really about the jumper at all. It was the output of a business model most shoppers have never heard explained, because almost every other retailer on the high street is still running on something much older and much slower. A buyer at most clothing brands sat in a meeting 9 months ago and guessed what color would be fashionable this spring. What cut? What fabric? They placed one enormous order based on that guess, then waited 9 months for it to arrive on a shelf. 9 months. You changed your mind about what you wanted faster than that, standing at the rack in the time it took to talk yourself into the wrong size. If the guess was wrong, the result is a warehouse full of unsold stock, sold off at a loss that wipes out the margin entirely. That has been the model nearly every retailer has lived inside for 100 years. Guess, commit, wait 9 months. Hope you were right. Zara's design-to-shelf time is not 9 months, 3 weeks. Yes, you heard that right, 3 weeks. Here is what actually makes that possible, because it is not simply that Zara tests products. Every retailer tests products. The difference is what happens after the test. Most retailers test a design, wait for results, then place a fresh order with a factory on the other side of the world that takes months to fulfill. By the time the answer comes back, the moment that made you want it has already passed. Zara deliberately keeps its factories close, mostly within a few days' shipping of Europe, and deliberately orders in small batches it can act on immediately. A handful of stores get the new item first. Not a launch, a probe. The company watches exactly which size disappears first, which color gets picked up and put back down. Then it manufactures more of precisely that and has it back on a shelf within days, not months. That rack you stood at wasn't running low by chance. It was already being measured and acted on while you were still deciding. Imagine this. In a Zara store in London, a single gray jumper starts disappearing off the shelf. Customers keep asking staff the same question. Where is the rest of the stock? One left, then none. Here is what almost nobody outside the company understands. Zara doesn't just notice that. It already knows exactly which size went first, exactly which store it happened in, before a single human reports anything. So within days, more of that exact jumper, in that exact size, is already on a lorry, headed straight back to that exact shop. Not a national restock, a direct response. To one shelf, in one city. Everyone who walked past that empty rack thought the same thing. Bad luck. Missed it. Nobody realized the empty rack had already triggered an instruction, sent across an entire continent, before they had even left the building. That jumper in London wasn't a one-off. It happens like that, on purpose, roughly 10,000 times a year. Zara introduces over 10,000 new designs annually. A typical high street competitor introduces a few hundred. Every time you stood at a rack and picked something up, then put it back down, that hesitation became a signal, feeding a model built to react to you specifically, faster than you could finish making up your mind. But that speed has a cost, and it does not land on Zara, and it does not land on you either. A model built on 3-week turnaround and constant new stock needs factories that can start and stop production on demand, absorbing sudden bulk orders with almost no notice. Industry reporting on fast fashion supply chains has repeatedly found the same pressure sitting underneath that arrangement. Compressed deadlines, pushed down onto garment workers, many of them among the lowest paid people in the entire chain that produced the thing you nearly missed out on. Inditex, Zara's parent company, posts billions in profit every year. The hands that made the jumper that sold out in 3 days are, in most cases, not seeing any share of why it sold so fast. So the next time you're standing at a Zara rack and the thing you want is almost gone, that is not the store running out. That is the store working exactly as it was built to. On you. Specifically, in real time. You did not just find a bargain, and you did not just nearly miss out. You were the test. And the result of that test is already on a lorry, on its way to the next store before you have even worn what you bought. This is the markup.